Welcome to another fun video. We are looking today at multiplying and dividing. So we'll be looking at column multiplication and also grid method, and on division we'll just be looking at the bus stop method for today with both whole integers and also with decimals. The first thing I'm going to look at is slightly different order from the title on the first slide, but I'm going to look at division first, in particular the bus stop method, and I've got two problems here. I've got 126 divided by 3 and 787 divided by 8. The first thing I do when I'm dividing is put a full stop in above and below the line, and I'm going to add some zeros. And I do that just in case my answer is decimal, and it just saves time later, and my train of thought is then to keep dividing along the line rather than worrying about where my decimal point and my zeros go. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide where the 3 goes. Well, I've put the 3 over here because that's what I'm dividing 126 into. I want to see how many lots of 3 go into 126. So that's why my 126 is inside the bus stop, and the 3 is what I'm dividing into that. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, does 3 go into 1? Well, 3 is bigger than 1, so 3 will not divide into 1. So I'm going to put a 0 there, because 3 goes into 1 0 times. I then have to carry that 1 over because I haven't used it yet. And now my question is, does 3 go into 12? Using my 3 times table, I can see that 3 goes into 12 4 times. So I'm going to put a 4 above the line. And I don't have any left over there because 3 goes exactly into 12, so I don't have anything to carry. All I need to do now then is decide whether 3 goes into 6, and it does. And again, using my 3 times table, 3 goes into 6 twice. So I'm going to put a 2 above the line. And I don't have any remainder. 3 goes exactly into 6, so I didn't need my decimal points and my zeros. That would give me a final answer, therefore, of 42. Moving on to this one, I've now got an even number, and I'm trying to work out how many times an even number goes into an odd number. So I probably am going to need my decimal point and my zeros. So I'm just going to put those in. I've got a little bit more space over this side, so I will do 3 or 4. And I'm using the same method. So I'm going to look at how many 8s go into 7. Well, 8 is bigger than 7 again, so that will not go into 7, so I'm going to put a 0 there. I do have this 7 that I need to carry though over to give me now 8 into 78. Well, using my 8 times table, I know that 8 8s are 64. 9 8s then must be 72. So I'm going to put a 9 there, and I've used up 72 of my 78, which means that I've got 6 left. So that's 6 I'm going to carry and put in front of the 7 to give me now an 8s into 67 issue. Again, 8 8s are 64, so I know that 8 will go into 67 8 times, and I've got 3 left over. Now, because I put the decimal point and the zeros in before, I can just carry on. I don't need to worry about adding those now. So I'm just going to continue with that method. 8s into 30, 8, 16, 24 goes in 3 times, and I've got 6 left over which I need to carry. 8s into 60, that will go 7 because 8 7s are 56 using my times table, and I've got 4 left over. If I can draw the 4 there. And now I've got 8s into 40, which I know go in 5 times. 8 5s are 40. I've got nothing remainder, so I'm now finished. That gives me my final answer of 98.375. I think the best thing to do is using this method is just go away and come up with numbers. One number that goes inside the bus stop and then the number outside that you're dividing into. If you have a calculator handy, then you can try working it out in this method and then just check it on the calculator to see where you're going wrong. If you are repeatedly going wrong, then bring it into school and we'll quickly be able to see where you're going wrong and what you're doing incorrectly. It is quite common to, when you're trying to work out what the remainder is, put the number in the wrong place or do your times tables incorrectly. So it might just be a mathematical error in terms of you working out rather than your method. But if you just try, you just have to practice these to get better at it. So try it out, have a calculator nearby, and then you can check your answers. And hopefully you'll become quicker and more accurate with more correct answers. Moving on to multiplying now, we have the same sum here using two different methods. The sum I've got is 131 multiplied by 12. I've got the column method over on the left hand side here and then the grid method over to the right. I'll just work through both, just give you an example of both methods in action. I've got some colours here. I've got the highlighted blue and yellow just to highlight my answers so that you can see where the answers have come from once the sum develops. So the first thing I'm interested in is the yellow 2 there in the units column. I need to multiply the whole of the top number by that 2 units. I'm trying all the time to make sure that I've lined up my answers for the units problem or section of the problem in a vertical column. That'll make it easier for me to add them together later. Likewise, the tens I'll try and keep underneath each other, and then the hundreds over here. So this incorporates times tables and also place value. I'm going to start with 1 multiplied by 2, which is 2. And then I'm going to multiply the 3 by the 2, always first time through using the units there. 3 multiplied by 2 gives me 6. And then 1 multiplied by 2 gives me 2. So I've got 262 there. I'm going to forget about the 2 now and draw my attention to the 10. And because I'm multiplying now by 10, I need my 0 placeholder in before I've multiplied anything. And that signifies that I'm now multiplying by tens. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. I'm going to do the whole top row by 1. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. What I need to do then is add my two answers together. 2 add 0 would give me 2. 6 add 1 gives me 7. 2 add 3 is 5. And then I've got 1. So that gives me a final answer of 1572. I'll just highlight using the colours that I've chosen for the 2 and the 1. So this is where I got my answer by multiplying by 2. And then the 1310, I got that by multiplying by the 10. I've combined them together to give me my final answer in the line below. If we have a look over at the second method, the grid method, what I've done is I've taken the 131 and I've partitioned it down. I've turned that into 100, 30 and the 1, and I've put that across the top. And then I've split the 12 up, I've partitioned that into the 10 and the 2. And that's created for me a grid. So if I can work out here in each box what the 10 multiplied by the 100 is and write the answer. And then in this box below, I'm doing 2 multiplied by 100 and write the answer, which gives me 1000 for 100 multiplied by 10 and 200 for 2 multiplied by 100. Same kind of method over here. I'm doing 10 multiplied by 30 to work out 300. And then I'm doing 2 multiplied by 30 for this box, which gives me 60. Same method again. 1 multiplied by 10 gives me 10, and then 1 multiplied by 2 gives me 2. What I need to do then is take up all of my answers, so 1000 from that first box. This may get slightly out of line, but we'll see how we go. 200. I've got 300. Again, I'm trying to keep these in order so that I've got units, tens and hundreds in the right line. Then I've got 60. And then I'll put these two together. I've got 12 there. I'm going to add all these together. So in my units column, I have got 2. I've got a 6 and a 1, which gives me 7. 2 and 3, which gives me 5. So that's my 5 in the hundreds column. And then I've just got the 1 there in the thousands column. So both methods have given me the same answer of 1572. Again, on these, it really is just a case of trying and practicing. Just again, come up with your own numbers, use these methods, whichever one suits you best. They both give the same answer, so it doesn't really matter which one you use, whichever one you're more comfortable with. Come up with your own numbers, have a calculator nearby so that when you finish doing it written, you can check on the calculator to see if you've got the correct answer. And it is just a case of keep practicing. Again, hopefully this will improve your speed, and it will also improve your accuracy, making sure that you get these multiplications correct